Peacemaker Season 2 kicks off not with a bang, but with something stranger, darker, and deeply emotional. Episode 1 doesn't just advance Chris Smith's story, it reshapes the boundaries of the DCU and forces us to confront the core of Peacemaker's pain: guilt, rejection, and identity. Let's dive deep into everything you might have missed. The first scene sets the tone. Chris and his loyal sidekick Eagly sneak into the quantum unfolding chamber in his father Augie's house. The chamber itself is symbolic, a literal door to alternate possibilities. Inside, Chris briefly encounters a lonely alien, foreshadowing that this portal technology is tied to interdimensional threats. But the true shock comes when Chris steps into another reality. Here, his father Auggie is alive, Keith is alive, and even more bizarre, their beloved superheroes, celebrated alongside this alternate universe Chris. Imagine growing up tormented by your racist father, haunted by the memory of accidentally killing your brother, and suddenly seeing them alive, proud, and loved. For Chris, this isn't joy, it's terror. He bolts back into his world, overwhelmed by the weight of what he's lost. Importantly, James Gunn makes it clear, this isn't a cheap DCEU to DCU explanation. The DCEU is gone. The DCU is canon. Chris's world is Earth Prime. What he glimpsed was simply one of many parallel realities. 6 months pass and Adebayo returns, dragging Chris to an interview with Maxwell Lord, Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner. The venue? An abandoned Crank Toys store. A cheeky nod to how broken the toy of superheroism has become in Chris's life. On the way, we learn Adebayo has moved on. She's likely broken up with Kia, launched Adebayo Security Consulting, and patched things up slightly with Harcourt. She's progressing. Chris, meanwhile, is stagnant. The interview is brutal. Lord, Hawkgirl, and Gardner don't just reject Chris, they mock his very being. They ridicule his temperament, his psyche, his worth. For them, it's casual banter. For Chris, it's another wound layered on top of lifelong scars. The humor is surface level, but beneath it, the tragedy is undeniable. Chris storms out. His slim chance at becoming a legitimate superhero is shattered. Watching him leave defeated, the irony is doubled when he spots White Rabbit, a Gotham villain, storming out after her own failed interview. Heroes, villains, it doesn't matter. Lord Tech only wants their chosen ones. Harcourt's subplot mirrors Chris's. She interviews with the NSA, but the agency rejects her, bizarrely diagnosing her with severe toxic masculinity. It's partly satire, partly commentary. In truth, Harcourt embodies a reversal of the stereotype. She's so emotionally guarded, so unwilling to admit vulnerability, that she mirrors the very flaw often projected onto men. Why reject her? Simple. Project Butterfly. Every agency is desperate to bury the past. Hiring Harcourt would reopen wounds and spark PR disasters. So she's exiled too. Her frustration explodes, first at her car, then in a brutal bar fight. This scene matters. Violence is her coping mechanism, her shield against intimacy. When she returns home, she finds Chris waiting. Their conversation exposes the emotional gulf between them. Chris wants to talk feelings, especially after their drunken kiss at a boat party, but Harcourt refuses. Her refusal crushes Chris. And here the toxic masculinity label plays out in reverse. Chris, the man, is the one trying to be open and vulnerable, while Harcourt, the woman, treats emotional intimacy as weakness. This dual rejection, first by Lord Tech, then by Harcourt, pushes Chris into self-destruction. He hosts an orgy to drown his pain. She fights strangers in a bar. Both spiral. And Gunn proves yet again, this isn't a kid-friendly superhero comedy. This is raw, messy adulthood.
Meanwhile, Economos is still tethered to Argus. He's assigned to watch Chris, ensuring he doesn't go rogue. He's still in touch with Vigilante, who's stuck bussing tables while his coworkers move up in the world, a reminder that Vigilante life has consequences. But trouble brews. Drunk and high, Chris reopens the quantum unfolding unit, leaving the portal active. This is no small mistake. As we've seen in Superman, open interdimensional doors can collapse worlds. Sasha Bordeaux notices the anomaly and orders Economos to investigate. Simultaneously, she briefs Rick Flag Sr., who watches reports of yet another metahuman breakout. But Flag isn't interested in that. He's fixated on Chris, the man who killed his son. Here lies the dark undercurrent. Flag doesn't just want oversight, he wants revenge. Economos knows this, which is why he tries to protect Chris by involving Adebayo instead. But we all know where this is headed. Flag will confront Chris. The question is, will he forgive, or will vengeance consume him? The episode's climax brings Chris back into the parallel reality. Here, the contrast is staggering. Auggie isn't a racist extremist. Keith is alive. Together with alternate Chris, they're the top trio, heroes celebrated for saving Gotham and defeating Rainbow Creature and Ultra-Humanite, deep-cut DC villains woven into the new canon. But for Chris, this isn't about DC trivia. It's about family. For the first time in decades, he sits quietly, listening to his father and brother laugh, love, and live. The emotional weight is crushing. This is what he's always wanted. This is what he can never truly have. Later, in his room, Chris notices a photo, his alternate self and Harcourt once stated. Another twist of the knife. That's when this world's Peacemaker shows up, leading to a savage fight. Chris, desperate and resourceful, exploits a flaw in the suit and kills him. Now, Chris is trapped in a double life. On Earth Prime, everyone knows him as Peacemaker. In this parallel world, he must impersonate the man he just killed. A do-over or a new prison? Time will tell. In classic Peacemaker fashion, the episode ends with comedy. Chris and Harcourt dunk on 30 Seconds to Mars, Jared Leto's band. It's more than a joke. It's Gunn cheekily skewering the Snyderverse Joker, drawing a line under the past while laughing at it. Episode 1 isn't just setup. It's about rejection, guilt, and the desperate search for belonging. Chris faces rejection as a hero and as a man. Harcourt hides behind toughness. Economos struggles with loyalty. And looming above them is Flag Sr.'s revenge. The quantum unfolding chamber isn't just a sci-fi gimmick, it's a mirror. It shows Chris not just alternate realities, but the life he'll never truly have. And that's what makes it devastating.